As you all know, one of the first decisions that I made after being appointed as director of the USIA was to combine the television and the film service into what is now known as IMV. Administratively, that merger is complete. Physically, we'll shortly be able to house the entire film and television operation in one building which now houses the television service. Creatively, I expect to see results from the merged operation very promptly. Now today we're going to demonstrate to you a new method of presenting television material. And the demonstration kinescope will offer you an opportunity to determine whether it will be useful. At the outset, this will be made available to only a few countries. If it works, we'll expand it. I've shown this product to some of the leading television executives in the United States. They were enthusiastic, and they've offered to cooperate by making material available to us from their own stations and from their own communities. Now, George Stevens will explain to you exactly what he has in mind. When you finish the demonstration, I want your prompt appraisal. I want you to tell me whether it will work in your post. I'm anxious to hear from you. Thank you.
It has become axiomatic here in Washington to say that production, the actual making of the product, is less of a problem for USIA than the distribution and placement of it. Unlike American television stations, we have no circuits, no channels, no affiliates to guarantee that our material will reach an audience. We cannot, as it were, turn a switch and be on the air. We hope that with Washington Correspondent, we will take a step toward overcoming that barrier by building a closer relationship with certain television stations abroad, a relationship based on continuity and service, a relationship that will result in these stations becoming dependent upon us for a product which is of value to them. Washington Correspondent will be a weekly service to television stations, a service which will provide news and feature reports of 2 to 5 minutes in length, designed for local television news broadcasts. This service will be personalized. Our reporters, or if you will, their reporters, will speak in the language of the country, and they will sign on and off using the call letters of the specific overseas station or network to which they broadcast. Once a correspondent is assigned to a station, continuity will be maintained, so he may become familiar as that station's man in Washington. The service will be in the traditional news format. The reporters will appear on camera to introduce their stories in a manner similar to their counterparts on news shows around the world. We hope that each one will have the necessary attractiveness and credibility to win a following. The reports, of course, will not be attributed to USIA. When the service is established on a station, a channel will then exist for the transmittal of information to local audiences. The service is designed to accommodate requests from the field, and the balance and content of policy can be adjusted through communication with the field. The 4 sample stories that follow were assembled to illustrate a few approaches and techniques that might apply. Since these are a presentation device, 3 of the pieces are in English. This, of course, would not be the case when we are underway. Incidentally, the airline story was fashioned from material presented to us by NBC. It is the kind of footage we plan to acquire from American networks and stations to supplement our own production. Finally, I reiterate Mr. Marks's words in stressing our interest in your estimate of the usefulness and practicality of this kind of service. We plan to base our initial programming on the field responses to this pilot, selecting 6 priority situations to begin with. Thank you. We hope you find Washington Correspondent of interest.
This is Wasim Siddiqui with a special report to Television Pakistan from the United States. America, like its people, has variety in its land and climate. The Atlantic seaboard is a coastal plain, to the west tall mountain peaks, and from western Florida to the Mexican border, the soil is sandy, the land flat, and the climate subtropical. The southwestern United States is desert, yet Arizona, in the heart of this vast area, has become farmland. 100 years ago, the Congress of the United States heard this report about the Arizona Territory. The region is altogether valueless. After entering it here, there is nothing to do but leave. Today, farming the desert has been made possible by industry. This is the private industrial experimental area set aside for testing agricultural equipment. This machine is laying down a network of irrigation canals. Men follow the machine, score the wet concrete so that it will not crack while drying in the hot sun. There is no surface water in the region, but there are streams deep underground. Tube wells have been drilled to reach them. Some drills go down 200 meters to reach water. The water is siphoned out of the irrigation canals. These are arteries for water carrying life to the land. Land that lay dry for centuries is getting a regular flow of water, and the Arizona desert has come under the plow. The challenge of Arizona's once barren soil is also ours in Pakistan. We know that our agricultural economy is threatened by soil erosion, waterlogging, and salinity. But modern science and industry, as we have seen, provide hope for tomorrow. Wasim Siddiqui reporting.
Hello, this is Yani Sangari in Washington with a special feature report for Ghana TV in Accra. Life in the United States can be fascinating, amusing, and even amazing. For example, what appears to be just an ordinary store from the outside is on the inside almost another world. A laundromat, a public place where with a few coins, soap, patience, and of course some dirty clothes, one can do a week's laundry in 20 minutes. But still another coin, music. Did I say 20 minutes? And it's dark already. Well, I told you, life is amazing in the United States. Join me next time, but bring plenty of coins. This is Yanni Sangari in Washington.
This is Isa Khalil Sabbar reporting from America for Channel 7 in Beirut. Air travel, once a precarious adventure reserved for the stout at heart, is today one of the safest and speediest means of transportation. Here in the United States, there are a dozen major airlines which last year flew 93 million passengers to worldwide destinations. Flying is big business, and the competition is very keen. Once a passenger is on board, the effort to win his favor is reflected in many comforts. Full-length feature movies, stereo broadcasts, gourmet cuisine, and champagne cocktails certainly help pass the time on transcontinental flights today. The airlines believe a pampered passenger is a happy passenger. Eastern Airlines, for instance, recently adopted a new look and turned an operating loss into a $29 million profit. Braniff Airlines, in turn, instituted a unique approach, painting its airplanes 7 different colors in bright, eye-catching shades ranging from lemon to turquoise. This, in addition to exotically attired stewardesses, has shaped a new modern trademark for Braniff. Since its facelifting in November, the airline has increased business by 30%. All this, of course, has little to do with essentials. But fringe benefits do make a difference and are emphasized on living room television sets where airline advertising beckons to potential customers.
American Airlines sidewalk check-in may take you by surprise, but it's just so you can go right to the gate for your plane. Please don't fight us.
Oh, just forget it. We're going, and that's that.
It's tough, real tough to leave Florida and fly home.
And since we fly to Mexico and South America, art from Peru, Brazil, and Argentina. Cha-cha-cha.
Is this any way to run an airline? You bet it is.
Looking to the future, 6 companies have ordered a huge airplane capable of seating 251 people, almost twice the capacity of planes flying today. This is the Douglas Super 61, a stretched version of the DC-8 now in service. Although the Douglas plane will be ready this fall, it is generally thought to be an interim development. This is a section of the DC-10 that could, within the next several years, carry 500 passengers at a time. It and the newly proposed Boeing Superliner will truly be the flying buses of tomorrow. Comfortable for you and for the company. With the development of engineering and the advances enabling the faster and speedier, safer planes, have come princely accommodations. Now, however, in addition to choosing their destinations, many people will want to dress for the occasion in colors that won't clash with their brightly hued airlines. And then there's the question of the menu, the movie schedule, the interior decor, and so on. All these trimmings, in fact, have made the plain plane certainly a thing of the past. Cha-cha-cha. Isa Khalil Sabbar reporting from the United States.
Les habla Andrés Morales directamente para KDT, Canal 9 en Buenos Aires, con un comentario de hechos y acontecimientos vistos desde la ciudad de Washington. En nuestro continente, el acontecimiento más significativo ha sido el viaje del presidente Lyndon Johnson a México. Fue la primera visita a una capital extranjera desde que asumió la presidencia. Después de conferenciar con el presidente Diaz Ordaz, el presidente Johnson asistió a la inauguración de una estatua de Abraham Lincoln, un regalo de Estados Unidos a México. La ceremonia conmemoró el establecimiento, iniciado hace 100 años, de la amistad entre los dos países gracias a la colaboración del héroe mexicano Benito Juarez y de Abraham Lincoln. En su discurso durante la ceremonia, el presidente Johnson enunció 8 principios de cooperación hemisférica y ofreció tomar parte en una conferencia que refuerce la Alianza para el Progreso, lo que fue interpretado como un apoyo a la proposición del presidente Lía de la Argentina para reunirse a discutir sobre la América Latina. Dijo el presidente Johnson: nosotros, los de este hemisferio, estamos empeñados en una vasta revolución social que alcanza a millones de personas en los 2 continentes. Estas consideraciones políticas del presidente Johnson se proyectaron sobre el vasto panorama del entusiasmo con que le recibió el pueblo de México. El más estrecho contacto del presidente norteamericano con el pueblo se llevó a cabo aquí, en el Aeropuerto Internacional Mexicano, antes de partir de regreso a los Estados Unidos en compañía de su hija. El presidente dijo, refiriéndose a su visita: creo que es la más maravillosa recepción que jamás haya recibido en cualquier parte del mundo. Aunque duró solo 24 horas y no tuvo ningún propósito diplomático apremiante, la visita recalcó las claras esperanzas de renovación de una solidaridad interamericana en la política presidencial del señor Johnson. Les habló Andrés Morales especialmente para KDT, Canal 9 en Buenos Aires, desde la ciudad de Washington.